What is up, everyone? It is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. And so today's video is super exciting because we are going to be talking about even more class schedule advice for incoming UC Berkeley students, freshmen, and transfers. So I have two other class schedule videos on my channel, which I'll have linked down below. The first class schedule video is general class schedule advice, things to consider when creating your schedule. And then the second class schedule video, I walk through how you can find classes at UC Berkeley and how you can check the Phase 1 and Phase 2 so you can strategically enroll to get into your classes. So if you're new to my channel, hello, my name is Rachel. I graduated from UC Berkeley in May 2020, where I double majored in cognitive science and legal studies. And now, post-grad, I'm working full-time at a law firm. And so if you're looking for one-on-one class schedule advice, you should definitely check out Study Hall College Consulting. It's a team of myself and other UC Berkeley students and grads where we specialize in reviewing college application essays and consulting one-on-one with students or parents who may have questions. So you should definitely check out our website and social medias. On our website, we have a free blog where we post weekly advice, and then on our social medias we also post a ton of free tips and tricks. So without further ado, let's get into more class schedule advice. So I asked you all over on my Instagram if you had any class schedule questions, so definitely follow me on Instagram if you have specific questions and want to be a part of a video. So the first thing that I'm going to be talking about is units. And so I mentioned units in my previous two class schedule videos, but here I'm going to give a little bit more information about units. In my other two videos, I mentioned that you should aim to take 13 to 16 units your first semester at Berkeley. For me, as a resident assistant, I have had tons of new student residents coming to Berkeley, and so it seems 13 to 16 is the perfect range where you can get acclimated to the university, but you aren't so overwhelmed that you don't have any free time. But 13 to 16 is definitely the sweet spot that will allow you to learn, like, okay, what are Berkeley classes like? What are the exams like? How much time do I need to put into studying, while also giving you enough time so that you can maybe join clubs or get a part-time job. And then after your first few semesters at Berkeley, then maybe you start to take a few more units. So like for me, my junior and senior years, I started to take 19 or 20 units a semester so that I could graduate in 4 years and double major. So what do units actually mean? The Berkeley website states that 1 unit corresponds to 3 hours of work per week that you're doing as the student. That could include attending lecture, discussion section, and studying, doing readings, everything like that that you need for the class. Most classes that you're taking for your major or for any kind of requirements for the university, those are mostly going to be 3 or 4 units. There are some reading and comprehension classes that are 6 units, but most of the classes you're taking for your major will probably be between 3 or 4 units. You can do the math. If you're taking 16 units times 3, that is technically 48 hours per week that you're going to be like in lecture or preparing for the class. Which definitely that is like an estimate, you know, it might take you longer to do the readings, or it might take you way less time to do the homework if it's like math and you're really good at the subject. You can just grasp the concept. So that's definitely an estimate. So next I'm going to talk a little bit about GPA and grading. So something that might be new for you with grading is that at Berkeley you have different kinds of grades. You can get an A plus, a flat A, or an A minus. And the same goes for a B. You could get a B plus, a straight B, or a B minus. That was something new for me because in my high school we only had A, B, C, no A minuses or B pluses or anything like that. Depending on if you get a plus, a straight letter grade, or a minus, that correlates to a different GPA that you would earn for the class. So an A plus and an A, that would be a 4.0 GPA. A minus is a 3.7 GPA. A B plus is a 3.3 GPA. A straight B is a 3.0 GPA. A B minus is a 2.7 GPA. A C plus is a 2.3 GPA. A C is a 2.0 GPA. A C minus is a 1.7 GPA. So with these letter grades, having the pluses and minuses, you can definitely see the difference between earning an A minus in a class, which would be a 3.7, versus earning a B plus in a class, which would be a 3.3 GPA. And so especially if you're looking at majors that require GPA caps, like computer science, you need to have an average of a 3.3 GPA in the prerequisite courses, which is what makes the computer science major so competitive. And so at this link on the screen right now, there is a Berkeley GPA calculator. So once you start to take some classes over numerous semesters, then you can input your grades and units and classes into the calculator and it will let you know your GPA. Which also, once you start to take classes, your GPA will also be located on your Cal Central account under the My Academics tab. So the next thing is how your grades are made in each class. So basically in college, your grade is made up of a few different factors, and the exams that you're taking in these classes hold a lot more weight, which was different for me because in high school, our tests that we were taking and homework and everything like that all counted towards our grade equally. For all of your classes, the first week of school, they will give you a syllabus with all of the class breakdowns, schedules, homework, quizzes, everything like that. On the screen now, I have an example syllabus from Stat 20. So you can see for Stat 20, the grading, it was 10% of your final grade is made up of homework, 10% for quizzes, 20% for the midterm, and 60% of your grade is made up from one test, the final exam, which is insane, thinking oh, that's a lot of pressure. If you don't score well on that one final exam, you could tank your whole grade because 60% of your grade is a majority. It's a lot. And so I would say a 60% final grade is a little bit on the extreme side. Most of my classes, it was more like 40% final grade. The first midterm was 20%, the second midterm was 20%, and then homework, quizzes, participation was that last 20% of your grade. But obviously these buckets change for every class, so you may have a class where 100% of your grade is made up of quizzes and tests. On the other hand, other classes might not really have midterms, but an essay that you're writing might be worth 20%, that kind of thing. So your professors will let you know the breakdown of the grading the first week of class with the syllabus. And reading your syllabus for each class is super important because, as you can see on my Stat 20 syllabus, the professor will usually give you the schedule for the entire semester. It lets us know when the quizzes are, when the midterm is, and when the final is. So the syllabi are super important. Whenever I would start a semester and get the syllabi, I would always write all of these dates down in my agenda planner. So I would remember when our homework's due, when our quizzes, when our exams, for every class that I'm taking, so I don't accidentally miss a deadline, because if you miss a homework turn-in or midterm exam, you're probably going to get a 0 on it unless you had some kind of prior arrangements made. So next I'm going to talk a little bit about curving in your classes. And I know I mentioned the idea of curving in a few of my question and answer Berkeley video, so I'll have those linked down below. But basically, a lot of classes at Berkeley will be curved up, but some classes may be curved down. So that's to say, you know, your stereotypical A, you're thinking, oh, an A is a 89.5 to a 100%. But that can change from class to class. If there's too many students in that upper range getting A's, they might curve some students down because too many people are getting A's. So an example that I've given before in my sociology class my freshman year, there were too many students getting A's, so I had like a 92-93% in the class. Usually that would be an A-, which would be a 3.7 GPA, but because too many students were getting the high grades, they curved us down, and my 92-93 actually was a B+, and I got a 3.3 GPA in that class, even though I had a 92-93%. That's an example of curving down, but for a lot of classes that you might be taking, especially like STEM classes, so like if you're taking math classes like econ, CS, those typically get curved up because the exams are really killer very hard. So on the screen right now, this is for midterm 2 when I took Math 55. So you can see the score to grade ranges for this exam. An A is between a 77 to 100, a B was between a 58 and 76, a C 42 to 57, D 26 to 41, and then an F was a 0 to 25. So when taking those exams, it's basically about scoring the average or standard deviations above the average, because if you're like 1 or 2 standard deviations above the average for the class on that exam, that is going to put you in a good position because that will typically get you curved up into the A or the B range. And so that was the scoring buckets just for one exam. Typically for classes, like I said, you're probably having 2 or 3 midterms and then also a final exam. On the screen now is another example of buckets for an exam. So this is from Stat 20. The professor said, I'll add up your total points and rank everyone, then roughly 20% of the class some kind of A, 30% some kind of B, 40% a C, and 10% D's and F's. And then down further, you can see the 80th percentile on the midterm was an 87, 50th was a 76, and 10th was a 46. That means that if your grade in the course was just based on the midterm, if you got an 87 or above, I'd give you some kind of A. 76 to 86, some kind of B. 47 to 75, some kind of C. And 46 and below a D or F. So that's basically how a lot of classes work for grading, which is very different from high school. And so finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about advising with your Golden Bear advising that you should be doing as an incoming student. I believe an advisor should be reaching out to you so that you can complete Golden Bear advising, because if you don't complete this Golden Bear advising, they'll actually put a hold on your account, so then you can't register for classes. So with that, the advisor should be reaching out to you. You could also check on your Cal Central under the My Academics tab if an advisor is listed. But right now, unless you're a declared major already, like if you're in the College of Engineering or College of Chemistry, you're probably just going to have the general College of Letters and Sciences information listed in Cal Central. But I would definitely say if you aren't a declared major yet, so if you're in the College of Letters and Sciences right now, and everyone comes into that college undeclared and you have to take the prerequisites in order to declare your major, getting an advising appointment when classes start actually can be very difficult. I know for me, I never went to the College of Letters and Science advising my freshman or sophomore year, because if you're trying to schedule an appointment, it usually takes like 1 month until there's actually time for them to meet with you. And so if you really actually did want to talk to someone, it's really up to you, and you need to take that initiative to either go into the office. There's peer advisors that you can talk to and just drop in. But seriously, that's like one of the really bad things for a lot of people coming in. Finding an advising appointment is very, very hard. Versus once you become a declared major, then you get a major advisor, and so then finding the advising appointments is a lot easier. So like for me, when I declared cognitive science and legal studies, I got the special cognitive science and legal study major advisors, and so those you would typically be able to get in within a week of wanting to talk to someone, which is a lot more useful because if you have to wait 1 or 2 months to talk to someone, chances are your problems that you are having are already going to be long gone. And at least for the legal studies major, once we declared legal studies, we had to meet with the advisor every single semester. Similar to the Golden Bear advising, if we didn't meet with her at least once, then we would get a hold on our class registration, and then we wouldn't be able to sign up for classes, which I thought was helpful. For cognitive science, they didn't have that, so we weren't ever forced to go in and talk to them. So yeah, that is some more information about class. Definitely let me know if you have any questions in the comment section down below, and if you are looking for some one-on-one class scheduling advice tips, creating your class schedule, definitely check out Study Hall College Consulting and our website. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. It really means a lot. Make sure you like this video to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. So thank you all again, and I will see you all next time.